Thanks for tuning in to Look at My JPEG, the podcast that discusses NFT, DeFi, and NFT financialization. This is your host, Xerox Jose, the founder of nftperp. The reason why I want to do this podcast is because there's just not enough people talking about NFT financializations. In this podcast, you can expect us to invite guests that are builders, founders, even investors that are deep in the NFT financialization space. We'll discuss their story, what they're building, and how you can get involved. So thanks for tuning in.
Welcome back to Look at My JPEG Podcast. In episode 28, we had a fantastic conversation with Kairos. Kairos Loan is a loan protocol using NFTs and collateral. Instantly borrow cryptos with NFTs with the best market terms. We hope you enjoyed this episode.
All right. Good morning. Welcome to the 28th episode of Look at My JPEG. And today we have guests from Kairos Loan. Welcome to the show.
Hi. Thank you very much for your research today. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for coming on. I think you guys also have your main account page will be joining and as a speaker as well.
No, just here. It's gonna be me and Tobu speaking. I will join, but I'm on the laptop and the mobile at the same times.
No worries. Sounds great. Well, welcome to the show. Before we get into the details of Kairos Loan, give us a quick intros of yourselves. How did you get into crypto? What was your first NFT purchase? And we can get into Kairos.
Yeah, sure. So a little bit about myself. So I joined the space thanks to Tobu, Nicolas, my co-founder now, back in 2018. We create like a blockchain lab in engineering school where we did like a workshop, hackathon, conferences, etc. And I fall into the trap of crypto, investing at first, then trying to do some small projects, then hop on the NFT bus. We did a couple of experimentation on Phantom when it comes to create like NFTs, to do like gaming, decentralized gaming, etc. And then so Nicolas Tobu.is was one of the first employee at Morpholabs. So then we decided to spend full time on DeFi, and when NFT came, we saw the potential of this kind of new standard, and we wanted to build like financial tools for NFTs. So that's basically how we come up with Kairos lending protocol.
100%. And what about you, Tobu?
Yeah, so as Joseph said, we started going into crypto in 2018. At first, it was just a bunch of people, a bunch of friends talking about it at our school. I wasn't thinking much about it. It was just after the crash of Bitcoin in 2017. And so because of that crash was so massive, it wasn't very convincing to join, but eventually I gave it a try. And what really hooked me up is that crypto is unique because it's like a punk space with some very liberal people, some political. Yes, there is a political background, and at the same time, it's a very techy, very scientific and economic subject. So I think there is just a lot of interesting things going around, and ever since I started, I couldn't think of something else. So I've been doing smart contracts and bigger projects, and now we are doing Kairos Loan. Yeah.
Got it. And I mean, hats off to you guys in terms of getting into the space right after the crash. I think people that are generally sticking around bear market and you're building for the long term, generally, stay around and be available and create good products, like you're going to make it. So hats off to you guys for that. All right, let's talk about Kairos. So give us a quick intro of Kairos Loan. What do you guys focus on? And for the listeners, give them a quick explain it like in 5 introduction.
Sure. So I think when it comes to NFT finance, one of the steps is also to be able to borrow against your NFT. So basically a little bit like a pawn shop or anyone knew Aave at the time. But yeah, being able to borrow against your NFT can be pretty good, especially if you want to do some I don't know, arbitrage, want to spend the money elsewhere without being forced to sell, or if you want to hedge your risk, etc. So it could be like a solid foundation for a lot of other tools, installment payment, all these kind of things. So that's what Kairos is, a way to borrow against your NFT. So it's a market that exploded recently. I think the NFT 5 summer is probably coming this year, but yeah, we want to put the focus on borrowers. So basically, on Kairos Loan, as a borrower, you are the center of the user experience. So that's the bet that we took, to be more capital efficient for lenders and to have a better user experience for borrowers. So that's what we try to do. To make it simple, we use the technology where we have like an order book, a matching engine. We plan to integrate other DeFi protocol to make it the whole thing more capital efficient. But if we have to recap, it comes down to user experience and capital efficiency.
Makes sense. And with regards to Kairos, lending and borrowing, would you guys categorize yourself in the peer-to-peer market or peer-to-pool market? How would you categorize yourselves?
Yeah, you're right. Right now, there's like two kind of model: the pool model or the peer-to-peer model. We have decided, and it's come from our experience at Morpho Labs, to do like peer-to-peer, because the settlement layer is peer-to-peer. I think that's where the most capital efficient way can be when it comes to lending. But the user experience must feel like a pool, because that's what I think users are looking for when they want to borrow. Like they want the liquidity to be instant. I don't think they want to manage all of the offers, etc. So we do an abstraction of the peer-to-peer layer, but it's still on the settlement layer peer-to-peer, with the same benefits as pool model, basically.
Yeah. So I think one of the most attractive things about peer-to-pool model for borrowers is you get that instant liquidity, right? You don't have to wait for offers to be there. You don't have to perhaps like NFTFi or even X2Y2. You get instant liquidity. So that's like one of the upside of having a peer-to-pool model. So when it comes to peer-to-peer for you guys, like how do you make sure there is instant liquidity available for borrowers, and who get to decide what kind of terms for borrowers when loans are initiated?
Yeah, so the thing we want to make sure is that lenders can manage their risk as they want. So, for example, when it comes to loan to value, when it comes to duration, etc., we decide to not reinvent the wheel ourselves. So what we do is basically lenders, they will make a set of offers in advance ahead of the borrowers. So they will make offers based on the whole collection, subset of collection, one NFT if they want, etc., in advance, in a capital efficient way where they don't have to lock the liquidity, and we make them compete in advance to offer like the most competitive liquidity. So when the borrowers come, is in front of a wall of offers with actual liquidity here, and it can be matched directly with one or many LPs that are willing to offer according to their risk appetite a good liquidity. So yeah, to summarize, basically we make them compete in advance and push them to be to offer the best liquidity, because it's a very profitable market and they want to be matched.
How does the process of competing as a lender work?
The same way as another book, basically. So on the first version, they compete on the loan to value and the duration. So let's say if you're willing to offer a little bit more money for a little bit longer time period, then you'll be matched first. When the borrowers come, it doesn't see like the full set of offers. The borrowers, it simply knows that is matched with the top of the order book to fill the whole order.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. And since there's like an order book, there's a direct counterparty on that order, right? You can't mix two different lenders' offers together in one loan.
Technically, you can. I mean, that's the design of the contract that we have made. In reality, because lenders, they are mostly like either fund or whales, etc. You don't really need to mix them. So we decide to do 1-to-1 to make it simple and more gas efficient. But yeah, you can match many, and that's the design that we have.
Yeah. So loan to the value ratio, duration, the duration of loans. So for borrowers, it always makes sense to opt for the longest duration, right? Is that the more competitive parameters?
So it depends. Right now, the market is a little bit DGN. I will say like the average loan is like 30 days, so it's not that long. But usually, the longer the loan is, the lower the loan to value is. But you can refinance at some point. But yeah, the longer the riskier is it.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. For us, for lenders, right? The risk for initiate loans
Yeah.
for long duration. Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. So for lenders, like I think with peer-to-peer models, like you have auto liquidations depending on health factor, and you can kind of point towards Ben Dow's mechanism that for NFTFi, like that's sort of the go-to peer-to-peer model. They don't have liquidations in a way that the lender just kind of can capture the collateral. So how does it work with Kairos with regards to risk and liquidations? Like when does it happen and how does it happen?
Yeah, that's a good point because like especially for lenders that are like NFT holders, liquidation can be like a tough subject, especially like it's a very volatile market. You know it better than everyone else, but yeah. So we took mostly the side of borrowers here. So let's say you take out a loan on 30 days, there's no liquidation. Of course, you can pay back in advance and only pay the interest that you do, but the liquidation process only take place at the end at the due date. So the first liquidation process, because in the design you can be matched with many LPs, we basically put to sell the NFT through the auction 3 times the loan to value to zero, with integration with other marketplace, etc., with arbitrage bots to basically make sure that you can extract the fair value of the market. In some case, it can generate more money, and it's a bonus for LPs. In some other case, well, it can be a loss. But there's also something I think cool in this mechanism is that as the borrowers, let's say you offer like 10 ETH for an NFT and you decide to only borrow like five Ethereum, then you only take risk of 50% of your NFT. So in case of liquidation, you'll receive like 50% of the proceeds. So yeah, Dutch auction, and then we redirect the liquidity to all parties.
Right. So yeah, I mean that makes sense. So let's say I have a punk, I get a 50% or maybe even 30% loan to value ratio loan. Maybe that's around 15 ETH. And in the process of liquidation, let's say I forgot, I just don't have enough capital to pay back the loan, but my collateral is, still higher than the loan that I have taken out. Say by the time that the loan has been defaulted, the collateral value is still at 35 ETH. So you effectively have that 20 ETH difference. Does that get returned to the borrower, or what does that go?
It works a little bit differently. So let's say you got the CryptoPunk and someone is willing to lend you like 50 Ethereum, and you decide to only take 25. So you only borrowed on half of your CryptoPunk here. So in case of liquidation, you will receive 50% of whatever the sale is, and the other half is gonna be sent back to the lenders. If you decide to borrow like the maximum amount, then everything goes back to one or many LPs. But yeah, it's mostly a way to because sometimes you don't want to borrow the maximum amount and you want to manage risk as a borrower, and that's the way you can do on Kairos. I don't know if it's clear.
Yeah, I mean, so I guess what I'm getting at is like there's typically when you initiate a loan, a lender has given out debt, right?
Yeah.
And if you have any auction proceeds on the collateral itself, like they say the resale value of the collateral is over the debt amount. And obviously, like the debt will be given to the LPs as they can get their money back, if you will. But if say the resale value is more than the debt value, and does that, additional capital go back to the borrower?
Not if the borrowers decide to borrow the maximum amount, because like for lenders, something to know is that liquidation can be like a pretty profitable business. So it's account in the risk management that they do. But yeah, the only proceed that will be redirect to borrowers if the borrower decides at the beginning of the loan to not borrow the maximum amount. That's the design that we have right now. It can change, of course, but because in the other way around, let's say the liquidation is less than the loan itself, then the whole risk is on the lender. So you can share the benefits only if you can share the risk.
Yeah, that makes sense. Got it. Cool. And with regards to like the current like status of the project, you guys are on testnet. When do you guys hope to launch on mainnet? And tell us a little bit more about like the current user base.
Yeah, sure. So we've been on mainnet for a couple of months now, battle testing with hundreds of beta testers. Little alpha here. We haven't answered it yet, but we've been live since yesterday on mainnet. We will do so we're working on getting liquidity and the SDK and liquidity provider, and very soon, like either today or tomorrow, you should be able to borrow using your NFT on Kairos Loan. So we've been live since yesterday, but
Oh
not
wow!
yet.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's a big moment for you guys. So how does lending on Kairos work? Because I'm on your website right now. I can see that I could borrow as on the front end, but I don't see a place to lend out my capital.
All right. Yeah. So to lending money at first. So the market right now of lending and borrowing is like lenders. They are mostly like professional. Either they're whales, they are hedge fund, etc. So at first there is no UI for lenders, because like we should have enough capital already. Because it demands a little bit of understanding of the market. Soon we'll have UI for lenders, but because we want to focus on the borrowing side, we have the UI for the borrowing side. So when you want to borrow against your NFT, you simply start by inputting the duration of the loan that you want to have. It will show you which NFT you can use and what maximum amount you can borrow for each NFT. And then 3 clicks, and you're supposed to have like the best loan to value on the market.
Got it. Yeah, that makes sense. When do you guys hope to introduce your lending on the front end for UI?
Within a month or two, depending on the demands, because it's still a pretty much concentrated market. I think like on any kind of market, but like on lending side, like 30 address is doing like 80% of the volume. So we will do at some point integration with other market makers and more retail friendly liquidity provider. It will be announced very soon, but we will work something for small lenders to be able to lend money easily without the whole complex risk management. But yeah, within a month or two.
Super exciting. And as I was kind of going through the docs and website, I saw a couple of pixelated eagles. Can you tell us more about those?
Yeah, sure. So we actually sold our first batch of NFTs yesterday. NFT project, we want to have like an NFT collection. So we are selling like Kairos Eagle for communities, basically almost free. It's more a way to reward the early adopters. So we had the 25 first batch yesterday. So this one are OG. We'll do like 2 other batches within the upcoming months. The first one was to reward our current user base, and the next one's going to be to reward like next users, upcoming users, etc. That will bring like a lot of utility on the protocol itself. I don't want to give too much detail on that, but yeah, you can expect some good perks, maybe some airdrop, and yeah, I hope the community will enjoy.
They look pretty awesome.
Good, thanks.
Are they on OpenSea or Blur already?
OpenSea, you can find them on OpenSea. The reveal is next week. So they're like Kairos Eagle. There is like 25 so far. Yeah.
25. That's a pretty low supply.
Yeah, the whole supply is going to be like 500, 55. But we got 2 other batches that'll come. This one or the OG's one.
Oh, that's pretty sick. All right, I'm gonna buy some. Yeah, that's really cool. And what are you guys hoping to do with these NFTs in terms of platform utilities? Is any?
Yeah, so the first one is going to be a way to, of course, access the new features of the protocol, to get other perks when it comes to airdrop, etc. Basically, a little alpha here is going to be a way to have a token before the token comes, and then you'll be able to pair them with the token to have like extra perks when it comes to cashback on the fees, access to other gifts, etc. But I mean, we basically don't really sell them. It's just to cover like the gas fees. So it's more like a way to really have a community around and give back to the people that supported us.
Yeah, 100%. Well, I'm excited to see the reveals and everything. With Kairos, so like, what's on the roadmap for you guys? Like, what's coming in the next couple of months? Obviously, launching on mainnet is a big step yesterday, so congratulations on that.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, so give us a little bit of alpha, if you will.
Yeah, sure. So the first version is here. We already have been working on the V2 coming up within a couple of months. The idea here is to have like the first user to have like as many feedback as possible on the product itself, to see where the demand is. We're building some side project that will be used by Kairos, for example, with Mimland, to be able to leverage your stacking using Kairos on Mimland, etc. A lot of things coming here, but basically first version have as many traction on the first version to get the second one ready. We plan to be on multi-chain pretty fast, and be able to then build other product on top of Kairos. So that's the vision, to become like a settlement layer, and to integrate like to other NFT wallets, NFT marketplace, these kind of things.
Super exciting. I look forward to learning more about the V2, and as you guys push out more features and products. With regards to destination chains, like, do you guys plan on staying on mainnet, or do you guys hope to bridge to different ecosystems?
Well, the market right now is mostly on mainnets, but recently we've seen that the gas fee can be like a little bit tricky, especially with low cap NFTs. And we want to, at some point, we want to target like gaming assets too. I think it will make sense. So yeah, we plan to deploy. We are part of the Polygon Village. So we will deploy in Polygon. It makes sense. It's a great chain. We're also looking at other layer 1 and layer 2. Arbitrum is one of them, but yeah, wherever there's the demand, we'll deploy.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, gas prices have been pretty crazy lately. So for smaller collections, it's almost like initiating a loan or even borrowing something. You're already paying a bunch of money just on the gas fees alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Arbitrum is a good chain. You're on Arbitrum. I think that's probably our next step here.
Yeah, we're on Arbitrum mostly because like trading related, like you kind of need to do it like the traders that are on our platform that are very active do more than dozens of trades per day. And if you do that on Ethereum, you're paying a couple grand in gas fees, just covering the trades costs. So
yeah,
probably not ideal.
Yeah, I've been trading recently. Really good product. Really cool. Congrats on that.
Thank you. Yeah, we're trying to keep growing and optimizing every single day. All right, so I think we've covered a bunch. Is there anything that I missed that maybe should have been highlighted?
I think we're good on that side. I mean, the product is here. The thing we can call people to do is like basically follow, because like we will have like shortly an incentive program. I think it can be interesting The thing we saw recently is rotation between like protocol. Since we knew the incentive program can be like pretty profitable because like the market cap is still pretty small right now, and we'll have a token, so it can be something to look at. But yeah, basically that's the thing we want to talk about, like how we can make the NFT finance space evolve a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty good sign that the money markets have picked up so much traction. So lending and borrowing, it will become more efficient across the board as the lending rates get more competitive in general. So really
Yeah,
good to see.
we've seen it recently actually. Like the loan to value tend to stay in a good range, but more capital is inflowing like on competitive platforms. So we can see like interest rate, they are done like a lot. So the liquidity become like more competitive than ever. So that's I think for the end users that's a great thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, guys, super excited for you guys as we keep an eye on Kairos Loan in the coming months. Excited to see the V2 coming out, and as you provide a little bit more different protocol features and product features. Thank you guys for coming on today.
Yeah, thank you very much for the invitation. Appreciate it a lot.
All right, for those who are listening, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you follow Kairos Loan on Twitter and give the new products a test. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time.
Thanks. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thank you for tuning in to Look at My JPEG podcast. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your audio podcast from, give us a like, a subscribe if you like the content, and we'll see you in the next episode. Cheers.